All right, I will go ahead, share my screen. Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Happy Feet Thursday. I'm so happy to be back with you guys for a second 7 weeks. If you know me or don't know me, I'm Adeline Farrington. I'm a research health and fitness coordinator here at UPMC. And with me today, I have our intern, Navreen. She'll be doing a couple exercises as well. Of course, you guys know Melanie, and then Kara is not able to be here today, but she's sending her love and her spirits. So first, we're just going to go over some safety measures and safety precautions before we get started. Some common barriers that you may be experiencing if you are on treatment or off of treatment are listed on the left. Those are just some things to keep in mind while you're doing these exercises, whether it's fatigue, shortness of breath, your muscle pain. All of those things play a big factor in your resistance training. And it's important to always remind yourself and give yourself some grace because you guys have been through and are going through a lot. And as important as resistance training is, it's always important to put yourself first. So what to do, make sure you track your symptoms, talk to your doctor. And today we'll also be showing the exercise along with the modified version. And while we're going through those exercises, if the modified version still isn't appropriate for you, please feel free to speak up or write a message in the chat to myself or the whole chat directly. And we can try some stuff on the spot that'll maybe make you feel more comfortable. And then also during our sessions, we always take breaks in between our sets, always taking some water breaks. We want to make sure we rest our muscles in between each set so they can recover and you can do better on your next sets. Quickly going over bands and technique for using your bands. On the left, you can see all the different colors and then the set that Jen gave you guys. Each band shows the pounds of resistance and then also what it's titled. So for example, the green band says it's extra light, which is about 5 to 10 pounds of resistance. So if you're used to using dumbbells or maybe machines at a gym or some other form of resistance training, the diagram on the left with each of the amounts in pounds of resistance should help you. And then on the right side of the screen, we have some breathing techniques. Breathing is super important during resistance training, especially because a lot of the population likes to hold their breath during resistance training, and you want to make sure you're fluently breathing through the exercises. So I like to remind myself and everyone that I teach to exhale on the hardest part of the exercise and inhale on the easiest part. You can also think about exhaling when you're contracting your muscles and inhale as you release. So for example, for a bicep curl, I will demonstrate real quick. For example, if I'm holding a weight in my hand, as I exhale, I'm bringing my arm up, squeezing my bicep muscles, inhaling, returning back to start. So I'm exhaling on that part that I'm squeezing and the hardest part of the movement, and then inhaling as I release back to the starting position. Does anyone have any questions so far? I know I'm kind of moving quick. Awesome. I will keep on going. All right, today we're going over endurance training versus strength training. This week and next week we'll be more focused on resistance training for strength, which is going to be on the right side of the screen. That's going to be focusing on heavy weight and lower repetitions in that 8 to 12 repetition range in 2 to 3 sets. And then on the left side, resistance training for endurance, that's going to be lighter weight, higher reps, and around greater than 12 reps in 3 to 4 sets. This will also be specified in the handouts that I give you guys when I post it on the website. So don't feel like you need to be taking notes and taking this all in right now. And then in the middle, we have our RPE scale, which stands for rate of perceived exertion, which is basically a scale from 1 to 10 telling you how hard an exercise may be for you. So for example, 1 is laying down on the couch. You're not exerting any energy whatsoever. And 10, you are running for your life, running from a bear, trying your best, exerting all effort possible. You really want to maintain an RPE of 4 to 7. You want to make sure you feel good. You may feel a little bit uncomfortable when you're doing the repetitions, but you don't want to be exhausted after exercise. We want exercise to, give you energy and make you feel like you have more energy during the day. All right. Last slide before we get started. What is self-progression? Self-progression is very, very important when it comes to resistance training because this is how you see progress. For example, on the right, we have a bicep curl progression. It's super important to think about your RPE and how hard an exercise is when you are learning to increase your weight or increase your reps. For specifically strength training, we like to focus on increasing the weight. So that may be going up into a different band that may be a little bit thicker than the one that you did previously, or maybe moving from extra light to light or from light to medium. It's different for everyone. But if we take a look at the table on the right side of the screen, we like to think about progression in terms of weekly exercise programs. So if you look at the week of the exercise program, week 1, your weight is 20 pounds, your reps are 10, and your RPE is pretty high because maybe this is your first time ever trying resistance training or ever trying a bicep curl, and so it's very difficult for you. Next week, you're going to keep that weight the same reps, and then maybe this time your RPE is a little bit lower because it's a lot easier because you've done it a couple times. And then that third week, same weight, same reps, and then this time your RPE is on that lower end of the 4 to 7 range we would like you to be. So then the next week, that's when you're going to increase your weight, keep the repetitions the same, and then your RPE is also probably going to go up because you're using more weight than you're used to. Does that make sense to everyone? Can I get a thumbs up? Awesome. And then on the left side of the screen, just some things to keep in mind. If you are doing resistance training on your own, you always want to sandwich upper body and lower body exercises. You never want to do 2 upper body or 2 lower body exercises back to back. We want to make sure your muscles recover in between each of the sets. Also, not resistance training multiple days in a row. Once again, for your recovery and your muscles, especially if you're very new to resistance training, it's super important to make sure we spread out the days and have at least one day in between your days of resistance training. And then proper warm-up and cool down is very important. We'll be doing 3 to 4 warm-up and 3 to 4 cool down exercises. Warm-up super important to help prime your muscles. It helps get them activated and ready to resistance train. And then stretching at the end helps you cool down, take a moment after your resistance training or your workout to help elongate your muscles and stretch them out. And then also, of course, using the RPE scale to track your progress that we just went over. And that, I believe, is all we have for our PowerPoint today. Does anyone have any other questions prior to starting? Awesome. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get into our warm-up exercises. Our first warm-up exercise is going to be calf raises. I will go ahead and demonstrate the exercise and the modification, and then we are going to do one set of each of the warm-up exercises. So for our calf raises, let's just correct the screen. For our calf raises, I have a chair here. If you'd like to hold on for support, you can also put one hand, 2 hands, no hands, whatever works for you. I'm going to put 2 hands, and then as I exhale, I'm going to go up onto my toes, squeeze my calves, and then slowly come back down. Squeeze my calves, lifting my heels off, slowly coming back down. And the modification for this is just going to be a seated calf raise. Very, very similar. You're scooted to the edge of your seat. Nice, good posture. And then we're just going to lift our heels up, squeezing our calves. You can put your hands on your hips or across your chest, whatever's best for you. And if everyone's ready, we'll go ahead and start with our first set. I will count out loud if you want to do them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. You guys can go ahead and relax for a second. I'm going to explain our next warm-up exercise. Our next exercise is going to be toe raises. So quite the opposite of calf raises. This time I'm going to hold on with both hands to the chair, and instead of shifting my weight to my toes, I'm going to shift my weight to my heels, lifting my toes off the ground, squeezing my shin muscles. Just like that. And similarly, the modification for this is just going to be seated, scooted to the edge of the seat, planting our heels, and just raising our toes, squeezing our shin muscles. And we will go ahead and do one set of 10 repetitions. You guys can follow along with me if you are ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome job. If you are not seated already, you can go ahead and take a seat because our next 2 exercises will both be seated. All right, next warm-up exercise is going to be neck circles. Adjust the camera real quick. So I'm going to have my feet planted on the ground, just sitting up nice and tall in my chair. My hands are placed on my lap, on my hips, whatever's most comfortable. And we're going to start rotating our head counterclockwise in nice, slow circles. You may feel some pops or cracks. That's completely normal. If this is too difficult for you, we can also just do some head rotations. So we're going to do shaking our head no, and then looking up to the ceiling, shaking our head yes. And I'm going to go ahead and start with 10 neck circles. I'm going to do 5 clockwise and 5 counterclockwise, and you guys can follow along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rotating directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Awesome. Can I get a thumbs up? Everyone's doing good so far in the warm-up? Beautiful. All right, last exercise is our shoulder shrugs. These are going to be seated as well. And we're going to raise our shoulders up to our ears and then round them, squeeze our shoulder blades together, puffing our chest out. Once again, we're squeezing our shoulders up to our ears, rounding our shoulders out, squeezing our shoulder blades. If this is too difficult or you may have a shoulder impingement, we can also just do some simple wrist circles to help us warm up. If you're going to do the wrist circles, we're going to do 5 facing one direction and then 5 the other direction. And I'm going to go ahead and do 10 shoulder shrugs with you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Awesome. Let's all grab some water before we start with our resistance training exercises. If you don't have your band out yet, let's go ahead and grab that. And yeah, let's grab some water, take a little second, and we will start with our exercises. Same thing with the warm-up exercises as the exercises with the band. I'll show an exercise and then I'll also show a modification. If that modification is not right for you, please feel free to speak up or text in the chat if you're not comfortable speaking up, and we can try and find another exercise that's better for you. All right, first exercise is going to be a squat with a band. So I'm going to loop the resistance band around both my feet, and I'm going to bring it up to right above my knees. So it's going to be right here. For a squat, you want to make sure your hands are either on your hips or across your chest, whatever feels best. Our feet are hip distance apart, and we're making sure while we're doing our squat, we're keeping our shoulders rolled down and back, eyes facing forward. As we do a squat, we're sinking into our hips, pretending like we're sitting into a chair, and then exhaling as we push away from the ground. If this is too difficult for you, once again, you can also do some squats over the chair, where you sink into your hips, tap the chair, and then come back up. If this is also not your forte, we can also do some sit stands with a band around our knees. So we're keeping our feet planted, band is looped around our knees, posture is great, eyes looking forward, hands are on our hips, and we're scooted to the edge of our seat. As we exhale, we're going to stand up, the full extension, and then as we inhale, we're going to sit back into our chair. And we have one more modification for you. We have a seated leg extension. So if you are wanting to do a seated leg extension, we're going to loop the resistance band around our ankles. And we're going to scooch back into the chair, making sure our back is intact with the chair. Arms are either on our hips or at our side. And as we exhale, we're just going to extend one leg at a time. Inhale, bring our leg back to center. We will go ahead and start with our first set of 10 repetitions of whichever of those is best for you. I will be doing 10 sit to stands with a band around my thighs. So if you would like to do sit to stands with me, you can go ahead and follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome job. Hope everyone loved those. Go ahead, take a little break, grab some water, and we're going to do one more set of those in about 15, 20 seconds. I'm going to get some water myself. Awesome. All right. Looping my band back around my thighs. Doing my second set of sit to stands. Whenever you guys are ready, if you're ready now, you can follow along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome job, everyone. Go ahead, grab some water. Our next exercise is going to be working our chest muscles. All right, you guys can go ahead and watch me while you're taking a quick breather. Our next exercise is going to be some wall push-ups. We also have a seated modification for this. So if wall push-ups seem a little scary to you, don't worry, I will show a modification. If you do choose to do wall push-ups, you're going to step about 2 feet away from the wall. We're going to place our hands so that our arms are straight out in front of us, making sure our hands are at about shoulder width distance apart on the wall. And we also want to make sure our hands are not at shoulder level, but they're about at chest level. So they're a little further down on the wall. As we inhale, we're going to bend our elbows, kind of touch our nose to the wall. Exhale, push away from the wall. Inhale towards the wall. Exhale, push away from the wall. And the further away from the wall you get, the harder it's going to be. So if you want to scooch a little bit closer, that may make it a little bit easier for you. And our modification for these are going to be seated chest flies. So we're going to be seated kind of on the edge of our seat, eyes facing forward. We're going to start with our arms out to our side like a W. And then as we exhale, we're going to squeeze our elbows together, squeezing our chest muscles. If your arms don't touch all the way, that is perfectly okay. And we return back to start. So we're going to exhale, bring our elbows together, squeeze our chest, inhale, return to start. I will personally be doing these seated for you guys. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions. And if you're ready to follow along with me, we're going to go ahead and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, you got it. 9, last one, and 10. Awesome job. Shake out the arms a little bit if you need to. We're going to do one more set in about 15 to 30 seconds. You guys can grab some water if you need to. Is everyone doing okay so far? Can I get some thumbs up, hopefully? Awesome. Love it. All right. If everyone's ready, we will go ahead and start with our next set. We're going to do 10 more repetitions, same exact thing. If you want to try one or the other exercise, the exercise is a modification and you did it differently last time, that's okay too. All right. And 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Everyone on camera looks great. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Beautiful job. All right, this next exercise is going to be working our lower body, specifically our hamstrings, the muscles on the backs of our legs. Once again, showing the exercise, then I'll show the modification. This exercise is called a Romanian deadlift, also known as an RDL. It can be a little bit complicated, so hopefully we can get a good angle to see this movement. All right, so I like to loop the band around the midpoint of both of my feet. And then you hold on to the band, making sort of like a triangle shape. As you inhale, you're going to shift your hips back. And then once you feel the stretch in your hamstrings, you're going to start to bend your knees. Your hands are going to get a little bit past your knees. And then as you exhale, you're going to squeeze your glutes, shifting your hips forward. So we're inhaling, slowly going down. Feel a stretch in our hamstrings, bend our knees. Exhale, squeeze our glutes. And the modification for this is going to be the same exact thing, but it's going to be seated. So for this one, we're going to be on the edge of our seat. We're going to put our resistance band at the midpoint of both of our feet. Grab onto the middle, kind of like a triangle. And once again, we're going to inhale, coming down. Once your hands get to about mid-length on your shins, we're going to exhale, squeeze your glutes, coming back up. Here, it's really easy for the band to kind of pull your shoulders forward, and you want to make sure you're squeezing your shoulder blades so we keep that good posture with our eyes facing forward. So one more time with the modification, and squeeze back to center. And I will be doing these modified. So whenever you guys are ready, we can start with our first set. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 repetitions. So let's go ahead, grab our band, get into starting position, eyes facing forward, shoulders rolled down and back, and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome. Gonna take a little extra rest after that one. You can grab some water, take a little breather, shake out your legs a little bit if you need to. Oh man, not a water. All right. You guys want to go ahead and get set up for our second set? You can go ahead and do so. All right, I'm in my starting position. If you're ready to move with me, you are more than welcome to. And we will begin our second set of 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, you got it. And 9, last one. Really squeeze those glutes. And 10. Awesome job. Hopefully you guys can feel that in your hamstrings because I know I can. All right, take a little breather. Our next exercise will also be seated, both the modification and the exercise. So if you're not seated already, you can go ahead and take a seat. And Navreen is going to lead the next 2 exercises as well.
Hello, we're going to be doing seated row. That's going to be our next exercise. And for that one, you'll be sitting towards the edge of the chair, and you're going to keep one of your leg extended out and foot facing towards the ceiling. And you're going to grab the band and wrap it around, loop it around your foot to the midpoint of your foot. You will be holding the band from the top, making sure your shoulders are rolled back and your elbows are closer to your body. You will be bringing the band closer towards your belly. And every time you're bringing it closer towards your belly, you'll be taking a deep exhale. And when you're going back, you'll be inhaling. If this is difficult and it's challenging for you, we can do the modification. And for that one, you will be having the band looped around your knees. Keeping your feet shoulder width apart, making sure you're sitting towards the edge of the chair and your shoulders are rolled back, and holding the band from the top with your palms facing downward, keeping your elbows close to your body. You will be bringing your band close towards your armpits. Here we go. Every time you bring it closer towards your armpits, exhale. And when you're going away, inhale. Okay, I'll be doing the first set with the modification. Whenever you guys ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's take a little break. And if you guys wanted to grab water, let's grab water. And we'll do another set in a bit.
Awesome.
Okay, we're gonna get ready for our second set. I'm gonna have my band around my knees. Making sure my feet are shoulder width apart. I'm sitting towards the edge of the chair and making my shoulder roll back and squeezed. Grabbing the band from the front and pulling it towards my armpits again. 2. Exhale when you bring it up, and inhale going down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Our next exercise is also in the same position. So if you already have your band looped around your knees, that's perfect. But just to get started with it, having our band around our knees, making sure this time our feet are closer together, knees are closer together. And if you prefer, you can have your hands around your hips and your shoulders rolled back to have a good posture. And whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna bring our knees to the side, making sure our feet are staying together. And every time we go out, we can exhale and bringing it in, inhale. Perfect. Whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna start it.
Modifications with no band.
So if the band is challenging for you, you can do it without band. Just making sure having no band around your knees, feet together, and then knees together, and every time going out, making sure feet are together. Perfect. We're going to start our first set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10. Perfect. You can take a little break.
Awesome. Can we get some silent claps for Nareen? First time leading group classes. She killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone grab some water, take a little break. Our next exercise can be done seated or standing. So I'll demonstrate it both ways.
Perfect. I'm just going to stay in the same position. Hey, Whenever we're ready, we're going to start with the second set now. Making sure feet together, knees together, and hands on the hip. And we'll be starting our first repetition. Going out, exhaling, and bringing it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay! Adeline will be showing the next one.
All right, everyone grab some water, take a breather. We have 3 exercises left, and then we have about 4 cool down exercises. All right, our next exercise is going to be a tricep extension. I'm going to demonstrate it standing first, and then I'll also demonstrate it seated. For our tricep extension, I'm going to have one end of the band looped around my thumb, placed in the middle of my chest. If you have a port or something else that may be sensitive up here, you can also place it closer to like where your heart is, or even on your belly button, whatever works best for you guys. I'm going to have mine closer to the top of my chest. This other end, I'm going to grip the resistance band in a nice firm grip. As I exhale, I'm going to extend my arm out full to extension down by my side, squeezing the back of my arm, my tricep muscle, and then slowly return back to center. Let's do this view too. So we exhale, arms by our side, squeezing our tricep, slowly return back to center with our inhale. And the same exercise, the exercise is the same whether it's seated or standing. So for seated, same exact thing, looped with our arm on our chest, holding this other end of the band. We're going to be scooted to the edge of our seat so we can help engage our core muscles. As we exhale, we extend our arm to full extension. Inhale, slowly return our arm back to center. And I'll show this view as well. Seated. Extend, keeping our elbow close to our side. We don't want our elbow out like this. We want to make sure it's glued by our side. And one more here. Awesome. I'm going to do these standing just so you guys can see the movement a little bit closer. And we'll get started with our first set on our right or our left arm. We'll be doing 2 sets on each arm. So we'll start with I'm going to start with my right arm and then go to my left and then repeat right and left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one on this arm, and 10. Awesome. Shake that arm out a little bit and move it onto our left arm or your right arm if you started with your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. We'll take a little bit less rest here since we rested our right arm or the opposite arm. So you can like shake it out a little bit, and then we're going to go right into the opposite arm that we just did. All right, second set, we are going to start now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Now we got our last arm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome. Our next exercise is going to be seated. So you guys can go ahead, take a seat, grab some water. I'm going to demonstrate the next exercise and its modification. All right, next exercise is going to be a seated single leg press. It's quite a mouthful. We're going to be starting with, I'm going to start with my left leg. I'm going to loop the resistance band around the midpoint of my foot. And then the other end is going to be with me by my belly button, and my leg is going to be extended out. My back is against the chair for support, and this helps me roll my shoulders down and back, keep my eyes facing forward. As I inhale, I'm bringing my knee towards my chest. My band is on the inside of my leg. Exhale, extend my leg. Your arms are glued in by your sides, and the band is being held by your belly button. So you're not pulling with your arms. You're bringing your knee in and then pushing with your leg. So you should feel it in your legs, not your arms. If this is too difficult or seems too complicated, which I totally understand, we're going to do a single leg extension. So for this one, we're going to loop the band around both of our ankles. And this one, we're going to be back against the chair for support, hands on our hips, by our sides, across our chest, whatever is most comfortable. And as we exhale, we're going to extend one leg at a time, squeezing our thigh muscles, and then inhale, returning to center. I'll also show this one facing forward. So we're just bringing our leg out, squeezing, returning back to center. And then for our leg press, this is kind of what it's going to look like from the front view. So my band's on the inside, knees coming out towards my chest, exhale, extending my leg. I'm going to be doing 10 on my right side, 10 on my left side of the leg press. You can also do leg extension too, if that's what you would prefer. All right, first set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and switch legs, whether you did leg extension or the leg press, and we'll do 10 on that opposite leg. All set up, eyes facing forward, and set 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. Go ahead and relax for a little bit. And we'll do one more set, and then we only have one more exercise, and then we get to go into our cool down. And grab some water real quick. Is everyone doing okay? Can I get another thumbs up? Awesome. Love to see it. All right. If you're ready, we're going to get set up for our second set. All right. I'm all set up, so I'm going to begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and switch legs. This is our last lower body exercise. All right, whenever you guys are ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 1 more, 10. Awesome. Go ahead and relax, grab some water. Our last exercise for upper body is going to be seated. So you're already seated. I will go ahead and demonstrate it real quick while you guys are taking your break. This last one is a simple bicep curl. Our band is going to be looped around right above our knees, very similar to how we did the clamshells and one other exercise. We're going to grab our resistance band with our palms facing up. Make sure our feet are about hip distance apart. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands up towards our shoulders. Inhale, return back to center. Exhale, inhale. And I'll also show it this way too, so you guys can see my posture. Making sure my shoulders are rolled down and back, eyes facing forward, grabbing my resistance band. Exhale, inhale. If this is too difficult, you can take one of your legs out of the resistance band and just simply do it with one leg. That's going to decrease the resistance. Same exact thing. All right, I'm going to do it with both my legs in. And we're going to do 2 sets of this and then go into our cool down exercise or cool down stretches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Awesome. Relax. Quick little break. And then last set. And then we have our stretches. You guys have done awesome so far. Everyone on camera looks beautiful. All right, let's go ahead, get set up for our last set of the day. This time I'm going to try it with one leg in. All right. Last set. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Awesome job. You guys can put your resistance bands away or set them aside for now. We will not be using them the rest of the session. All right, we'll go ahead and get started with our cool down stretches. We're going to go ahead and start with a crossbody stretch. So we're going to stretch our triceps, shoulders, kind of our whole upper body of our arms. I'm going to start with my right arm, bring it across my chest nice and straight, and then pull on my elbow. So I feel it all along here. And if you choose to do this, we're going to hold it for about 10 to 20 seconds. If this is too uncomfortable for you, you can do a nice wrist stretch where you pull your fingers towards you, or you could do a forearm stretch where you pull your fingers towards you, but your palm is facing towards you instead of away. I'm going to do my crossbody stretch. Just hold it for a little bit. When you're doing these stretches, make sure we still focus on our breathing. So we're inhaling through our nose, and when we exhale out of our mouth, try and pull the stretch a little bit deeper and relax your muscles a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and switch to the opposite arm. Same thing here. As we exhale, try and pull a little bit more. Relax your muscles a little bit more. And go ahead and relax. Our next stretch is going to be a neck stretch. It's going to stretch our traps and our upper back. I'm going to take my right hand, place it on the left side of my head, and then pull my right ear towards my shoulder. If this is too uncomfortable, you can also try chin to chest. I like to cue this by telling people to try and smell their armpits. If this is also too difficult for you, we can also do some simple head nods where we hold our head down in this position with our chin to our chest. Let gravity pull you, and you should feel a stretch in your neck. I'm going to do this one for about 20 seconds or so. All right, go ahead and relax. And then if you chose to do the next stretch, we'll just do it on the opposite side. So I'll take my left hand to my right side and sniff my armpit or bring my left ear to my shoulder. If this, once again, is too difficult for you, you can still do the head nod, or this time instead you can look up and let your head relax to the back. Once again, we're still thinking of our breathing here, trying to sink a little bit deeper with each exhale. Awesome. Go ahead and relax. All right, next stretch is going to stretch our hamstrings. For this stretch, we're going to be seated on the edge of our chair. We're going to extend one leg out so our heel is planted, toes pointing towards the ceiling. Keeping good posture throughout this, shoulders down and back. We're going to stack both hands, and as we exhale, we're going to reach towards our toes, trying to keep our back as straight as possible. If this is too difficult for you, you can scooch back into the chair and give your knee a nice hug. And this, we're just holding our knee towards our chest. You should feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings. And I'm going to hold this one for about 15-20 seconds. And same thing here. As we exhale, try and pull that knee a little bit closer. Or if you're doing the hamstring stretch, try and move those fingertips towards your toes. Awesome, and relax. Gonna switch sides, so onto the opposite leg. This time I'm gonna do the hamstring stretch. Whenever you guys are ready, we're gonna hold it for about 15-20 seconds. Awesome, and relax. We are about 2 minutes over time, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for showing up to our first full session. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to have more fun the next couple weeks. Does anyone have any final questions, concerns, anything else I can answer right now for you?